She had just died, not here, somewhere else, a life that she's never known. There was no pain, no fear, only silence. Then a jaguar appeared, not threatening, not hunting, waiting. It never spoke a single word, and yet she knew exactly what it wanted her to do: follow it. She walked through dense jungle. The air was thick, humid, almost stale. The trees impossibly tall. Everything felt more real than a dream, almost hyper real. The jaguar never looked back. It simply knew that she would follow until suddenly it stopped in front of something impossible. A giant serpent. Its mouth was wide open, just waiting. She laughed nervously. Am I supposed to go in there? So she stepped inside, and instead of darkness, there was movement, like being carried, not swallowed, transported. Moments later, she emerged through the mouth on the other side, and standing before her was a pyramid, ancient, massive, almost glowing. The jaguar walked to the entrance, turned around one last time, and became stone, a statue, a guardian.
If someone had told me this story a few years ago, I probably would have thought it was fascinating. And then I probably would have wondered if the brain was creating an incredible metaphor of sorts. Was this another dimension? A symbolic journey, a deeply healing experience created by the subconscious mind? All possible. But what we keep seeing tells us something else is happening.
And that's what this podcast is about: exploring what we've witnessed and or experienced for ourselves over and over again. Hi everyone, I'm Angela. I've been doing this work for more than 20 years. And over that time, I've had the privilege of witnessing hundreds of people enter these deeply altered states of consciousness and explore experiences that sometimes even I couldn't have predicted.
And I'm April. Angela and I are both practitioners and facilitators of biodimensional integration. We're also curious investigators, because the truth is, even after everything we've witnessed, we're consistently fascinated by what happens. We're still surprised. We're always asking questions. And sometimes we're just as awestruck as the people we're sitting beside.
People often ask us, so what exactly is biodimensional integration? And the simplest answer is it's a guided exploration of consciousness. We don't tell people where to go. We don't suggest them going to a past life or the spirit world or to the future. And we certainly don't suggest meeting a council.
Our role is actually very simple. We create a safe space. We use a combination of tools and practices to help someone enter a deeply relaxed and focused state of awareness. And then we get out of the way.
Where people go isn't our decision, it's theirs. Or perhaps it's led by something within them that knows exactly where they need to go and what they need to experience.
Sometimes people revisit childhood memories. Sometimes they experience symbolic landscapes. Sometimes they meet what feels like a spirit guide, or they describe what feels like another lifetime. Sometimes they encounter loved ones who have passed away. Sometimes they receive insights about their current life. And sometimes, without anyone suggesting it, they arrive at the same place, with the same kinds of beings again and again and again.
And that's where our curiosity began. Not because one person told an amazing story, but because strangers who have never met started describing remarkably similar experiences, different ages, different backgrounds, different beliefs, different expectations, and yet certain patterns keep appearing over and over.
Isn't that the truth? And one pattern more than any other made us stop.
5. Always 5.
And that's where the mystery begins, because neither of us went into these sessions expecting anyone to meet something called the council. In fact, we didn't even have a name for it at first.
The people we work with don't come in saying, I'd like to meet 5 beings today. They weren't looking for it. They weren't being led there. They weren't being told what to see. And yet, they began describing something remarkably similar. 5 beings, 5 presences, 5 energies. Sometimes they appear as beings of light, sometimes as orbs, sometimes as beings from other dimensions, sometimes they're people, and sometimes there's just no words. But somehow the energy is the same.
And there was something else. They didn't feel like spirit guides. They didn't feel like loved ones. They didn't feel like the familiar presence people often describe when they encounter someone they've known in this life. There was something else in the room with them, something we didn't have a name for yet, something that felt like it belonged to a different category of experience entirely.
And when we started hearing these stories again and again, we started asking ourselves, what are people actually experiencing? Why are there 5s? And why do people who have never met keep describing something that sounds so familiar to one another?
So today, we're exploring the council, not to prove it exists, not to tell you what to believe, but to ask a question we still can't answer.
Why 5? Before we begin, there's something we want you to know. The stories you're about to hear come from real biodimensional integration sessions. Names and identifying details may be changed to protect the privacy of the people who have trusted us with their experiences.
And these experiences are real, they're meaningful, and they're life-changing.
So bring your full attention, bring your knowing, and bring your questions.
What you'll discover might surprise you, or it might confirm something you've already sensed.
Either way, we're here to explore it together. And so, continuing with the experience from the beginning of the podcast, she found herself in front of the massive Aztec pyramid. The jaguar, who had guided her there, now standing as a stone guardian. She steps inside and found herself in a massive hall, the walls glistening, made of gold, an iridescent shimmer running through them, like light moving under the surface. She looked up, and the ceiling was glass, see-through. Above her, stars, or something like them anyway. And the floor beneath her felt like it had a very strange glowing quality, almost like plasma, alive somehow. She began to explore, and off to her left was a room. She peered inside, and she noticed that there was a platform. So she stepped in, and as she moved closer, she realized that there were 5 orbs floating above the platform, each one a different color. And she knew instantly, without being told, that they were alive.
5 again.
5 again. The one in the center took the lead. At first, there was no communication, just a pause, a kind of waiting.
Like they were letting her catch up?
That's exactly what it was. She described it as a rising, like they were lifting her frequency so that she could actually meet with them. And once she reached it, they began to speak. It became a kind of life review for her. They showed her what she was doing right, the places she was already on track, and then they showed her what she needed to change. Not gently, but not harshly either. More businesslike, caring, but businesslike. There were habits forming in her life that weren't serving her higher good. Things she already knew somewhere, but hadn't fully faced. And that was the moment they were named.
Like a wake-up call?
A total wake-up call, an invitation to come back to herself, back to her own spirituality. And before the meeting ended, they invited her back to come back when she was ready. They told her that she had access to the Akashic records, and that a relationship with them was possible if she wanted it to be. And then they gave her a healing, and just like that, she was dismissed. Not coldly, just completely. The orbs just disappeared, and she woke up.
Every time I hear this part of the story, I get chills because it's not just the 5, it's everything around the 5 too.
Right?
That business-like tone that exists, kind of like this stoic presence, the life review, the invitation to come back. We hear these same elements over and over again from people who have never spoken to each other. It's wild.
Be clear about something. We've sat with hundreds of these experiences. We know this work, but we don't interpret what these experiences mean for the people who have them. That's not our role.
Our role is to ask the questions and let them find their own answers.
And when it comes to something like this, we have our own beliefs, strong ones.
But the real work happens when you sit with it yourself, when you notice what lands, what questions it brings up.
That's where the truth lives for you. But this podcast, this is us doing something a little different, pointing out the pattern out loud together.
Because it keeps showing up. Sometimes it's orbs, like today's story. Sometimes it's beings of light. Sometimes people describe receiving downloads, information like arriving all at once, faster than words. Sometimes they ask questions, they get answers. Sometimes the beings look like people, sometimes like angels, sometimes like nothing we have language for at all.
Different forms, different appearances, but almost always the same feeling. Caring, but not soft. Familiar, but not exactly warm.
Businesslike.
And
always 5.
So we've been sitting with that. Why 5? Not 4, not 7, but 5.
There are 5 elements in ancient traditions, like earth, water, fire, air, and a 5th, spirit or ether. 5 senses that ground us in the physical world.
And in numerology, 5 is the number of change, freedom, movement, curiosity, the number of someone in the middle of a transformation.
Which, if you think about it, is exactly where our clients are, in the midst of something shifting.
So is that it? Is that why 5? Or is there something else entirely?
That's where you come in. If you have a theory of your own, drop it in the comments below. We want to hear what you're sensing. And before we go, we want to offer you something.
In her story, the council gave her a healing. We didn't go into detail about what that felt like.
So instead of telling you, we want to give you the chance to feel it for yourself.
This next part, short guided practice, about 5 minutes, opening 2 energy centers, the soul star just about the crown of your head, and the sacred root star extended just below your feet.
If you're driving, this is your moment to pull over. We don't want you meditating at 65 miles an hour.
Yes. Find a quiet space if you can. Headphones help. And when you're ready, let's begin.
Find a comfortable position, somewhere your body can fully soften. Let your beautiful eyes close if that feels right. Take a slow breath in and let it go. Another breath in and let it go gently, slowly. With each exhale, feel your body settling, becoming heavier, more supported by whatever is beneath you. Now bring your awareness upward, all the way up, above the crown of your head, several feet above you. There is a point of light. This is your soul star. It has always been there, quietly holding your connection to soul beyond this one life, your guidance, your higher knowing.
And on the next inhale, breathe that light down through the crown of your head, down through your throat, past your heart, landing in your sacral center, your solar plexus. With each inhale, feel it grow there, warm, golden, expanding a little more with every breath.
Now bring your awareness down below your feet. There is a point of light there too, several feet beneath you in the earth. This is your sacred root star. You don't have to force anything, just notice it, feel it, know that it is there. a steady, grounding presence deep in the body of the earth.
And on your next inhale, breathe this light up through the soles of your feet, up through your legs, up through your hips, all the way up until it meets the light already glowing in your solar plexus center. Let the two lights meet there. Let them merge, become one. One light, earth and soul, now moving as a single energy.
With every breath you take from here, let that light grow, spreading outward from your solar plexus, into your chest, into your throat, up into your head, down into your hips, your legs, your feet. Keep breathing. Let it keep expanding until it isn't just inside you anymore. Keep going until it surrounds you completely.
You are fully encompassed now, bathed in this light, held by the earth below, held by soul above. Let your body simply receive this. Let it heal. It already knows how to heal in its own way, in its own time.
And now, take a moment to simply notice how you feel. No need to explain it, even to yourself. Just notice. Know that this light above and below is always available to you. It doesn't require the counsel. It doesn't require a session with us. It only requires a moment of stillness.
And when you are ready, begin to feel the weight of your body again. The chair or the floor, the sounds in the room around you. Take one more breath, and when you're ready, gently open your eyes, carrying the root star below you and the soul star above you, wherever you go next.
Thank you for spending this time with us.
If this episode brought up a theory, a memory, or a story of your own,
please drop it in the comments below.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
Sending love.